This is the IC Pixels podcast with David and Anthony Cavens. We're going to talk about design in everyday situations. And we're back. This is Anthony.
This is David.
This is the IC Pixels podcast. Back at it again for the, what is this, 9?
This is 10.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. For the 10th time. They said we wouldn't be able to do it this long.
Who was they exactly?
No one said that actually, but like in the future, I want to look back and then say that they said that we couldn't. Nobody would have said it, but nobody's going to look back and check. So,
yeah, that's something I've always thought. Like a lot of people that say they have all these haters or whatever. I feel like a lot of people. I know there are internet trolls and haters and stuff like that, but a lot of people they talking about they have so many haters, and I feel like that's just something you're supposed to say, whether you have haters or not.
Yeah, I think it's just people that they want attention, basically.
So they say they have haters to attract haters or lovers.
Well,
or
they'll
whatever.
do something so that they gain some, so that they create some haters, so that they can say they have haters, basically. Yeah.
Well,
it's like people that say
I've seen people that I think don't have any haters that say they have haters, and by saying they have haters, I feel like then people hate on them because I don't know. It's a vicious cycle.
They're speaking it into existence.
Yeah,
it's like people that say that they don't have any drama around them. You know.
Oh yeah. And I hate drama. Like, okay.
It's like I don't want no drama. Anybody that posts that on social media or feels the need to announce that to people, they are the most dramatic people.
Yep.
In the room.
They are probably on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
So, off topic, kind of. I watched Love and Hip Hop, New York one time recently.
I'm sorry.
It's pretty stupid.
Yeah,
I knew that going in, but I was just like, let me at least be aware of what people are talking about, and yeah, I can confirm.
My girlfriend watches it, and I hear it. I don't necessarily sit there and watch it, but I hear it because I may be in the next room or something like that. I just can't. It's just I don't know why. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. I don't get it.
I think it's like one of those train wreck things where you know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away.
Oh, I can look away. It's pretty easy.
Well, yeah, I can look away too. But
this isn't even that
just
bad
like
that I can't look away. It's not. It's just I just don't. It's. I don't know. I just don't know why. I have no motivation to watch it. It's like I just really don't care about. I mean, number one, I don't know who these people are anyway. Okay, I maybe know who like 2 people on there are, but the rest of them, I don't know why they're on there. Whatever music or whatever they're making sounds terrible, and I don't know. I don't mind reality stuff that has like a purpose, or like game shows or something. Not game shows, but like competitions and stuff like that. I kind of like stuff like that because there seems like an end goal. Like this is what they're trying to do. Shows like that, there's no goal. Like I don't know. It's like, what is this leading up to?
I don't know. I guess most people on there are trying to promote an album if they have one.
But why don't? But what? I mean, I don't understand. Like, where does it end? Like, I mean, is it? Why do I care? Like.
You're asking the unanswerable questions.
Oh. I just don't understand why I should. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I used to watch The Voice.
Listen, but I mean, you don't have the answers, Sway.
Okay, all right. They don't know. We don't know.
Basically.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know some people say they like to just see the drama, and they have to. I just don't care at all. Like, it just stresses me out. Not necessarily their drama on the show. That doesn't stress me out. It, like, people's stupidity stresses me out. It's just Like, why is this on TV bothers me.
I don't know. I just feel like a lot of those problems that I saw those people going through on the show, and I'm sure they've been going on for like 3 and 4 episodes. I could have resolved like one conversation. You're gonna stop talking about me, and that's it. Okay, all right, we're good.
Yeah, it's like really, they're not real problems. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would rather a reality-based scripted TV show or something like that. Like that, there's a show called This Is Us. It's really good, but it's like that. It's like realistic, but it's I don't know.
Well, so good, a show I watched that it wasn't great, but since this is, I guess, our TV segment of the podcast, I watched on Netflix. There's a series called Travelers.
I watched that. That's good.
Yeah,
that was good.
I saw the whole thing. I was hoping, like the end. I was like, that kind of left me kind of weird, and I'm wondering, is there going to be another season? But I thought it was a pretty good show.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad because I watched Heroes of Tomorrow. I think it is. What? Legends of Tomorrow. It's it's like all the leftovers from Arrow and and that stuff. Yeah,
first season of that was kind of.
I thought it was okay, but it was just a lot of time crap going on. So I thought Travelers was interesting.
Second season was good though, of Legends. So it got better.
In the first the end of the season I saw, they like destroyed something and they went and killed all the Time Masters or something like that, and then that was the end of the season. Is there a season after that? This is on Netflix, so I assume there is a season after that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know if it ended or maybe it's in the middle of the season now or something like that. But yeah, there's a season going on now. But it's been pretty decent so far. Did you go and watch The Expanse yet?
No, I haven't caught that yet. So what else did I watched? I'm partway through Passengers, and like in the previews, it seemed like the premise of the movie seemed different in the previews than what I've noticed now. And what I notice now, it's like this guy is like a super creep. So when I finish it, I'll let you know what I think. But so far, it's kind of a boring movie thus far.
Passenger.
That's that one where it's the guy from The Office and the girl from like every other movie, Jennifer Lawrence, I think.
Oh.
And they're on a spaceship and they wake up too early.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm probably gonna end up watching that at some point, but yeah.
Well, spoiler alert.
He wasn't on The Office.
Oh no, no, Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. What happens is like he wakes up early, and he's bored, so he wakes her up.
Oh. Okay.
And that's like creepy because and then he plays it off like, oh, it's just a malfunction or something. But it's like,
oh, but he woke her up.
Yeah, he woke her up.
So he like
purpose.
walked around and was like,
Well, he like, it's crazy, but like they have a little.
Did he know her already?
No, did not know her, but there was like a little, I guess, on everybody's pod, you could look up information about them. So he's like, researching her, and watching her little videos, and knows all about her, and then wakes her up after going through
like
this
Tinder.
It's just creepy.
So I mean, it's like Tinder. He just was like, "Oh, okay, this looks good."
Yeah, kind of. I'm not.
He swiped right.
I'm not super familiar with Tinder, but
okay.
If it was Grindr, if Grindr is that similar? No, all jokes, but yeah, that movie. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I didn't think it was that great so far.
Oh well, I mean, I was watching Voltron. I like Voltron. That was good. Have you seen that? The cartoon? The new one?
Yeah, where her father's like in like this computer thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I saw all of that. That one was good. I like that.
They have a second season now.
Oh, it's on Netflix? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
No, it was pretty good. So
like,
I mean, I was watching some of that, but I fell asleep. So
I've never, when I was a kid, I was aware of Voltron, but I never saw it. So now I'm like, oh, this is what I should have been hyped about when I was a kid.
I don't remember exactly. I remember seeing it sometimes. It wasn't like that. I don't know. This is better.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So
it reminds me of Centurions. You remember that show?
Centurions.
Where it's like these guys and they they don't become like a massive robot, but they have like a lot of plugins that stick on them.
That sounds familiar.
I think it was called Centurions. Anyway, the thing that reminds me about it is like all these shows, in order for them to transform into their whatever form, there has to be this cut scene where they're flying through the air and the little parts clip onto them, and then they can land and fight. It's never
like Thundercats.
Yeah, Thundercats is the same thing. So it's interesting. It makes it inconvenient. It's like, okay, bad guy, pause for a minute. I need to do this cut scene, and then we can fight. I just started Narcos because I'd heard good things about it. It was on my list, so I just started that. And I'm working my way through Breaking Bad, and everybody that I tell that is like, well, why are you just watching that now? But whatever.
Yeah, I've never watched an episode of Breaking Bad. But,
it's not bad, but I don't know. I wasn't amazed.
No, I've been walking my girlfriend through The Wire.
Where can I find that? I haven't. There's
Amazon.
Oh, I'd have to pay for that. But yeah, that's another one where like, so years ago I had never seen The Color Purple. It was probably like 2010 or 11 when I first saw The Color Purple for the first time, and people tried to take my black card away. And then also because I haven't seen The Wire, people are like angry with me. I've seen maybe 2 episodes of The Wire, so I need to watch that because I know there's a lot of references and jokes that people make in reference to that, and I'm like, I don't get it. Or some of them I just know now from being repeated so many times. I know what the joke is, but I don't know the story behind it.
Yeah, there's like a meme in there that's like when you see where it comes from, it's like, oh, it's like a popular meme. The guy looking surprised, like, oh, that's what, and it's like, I don't know. It's important to for meme.
I can make more effective memes. Yeah.
So it's worth it to watch 5 seasons, and it'll explain to you one of the people that's on Love and Hip Hop. You'll know where she came from.
For real?
Yeah.
Who?
Snoop.
Oh, yeah, I did hear she was from The Wire. So when I first saw her, Snoop, on Love and Hip Hop, I was like, why is Young M.A. on there? Because they look they don't look exactly alike, but they have kind of similar hairstyles, similar skin tone.
They're on the same. Yeah, they're in the same.
They're on the same team. Whatever that means.
What's the word for it? They have a similar skew, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but like at first glance, I don't spend that much time looking at Young M.A. I listen to a little bit of her music, but when I saw, I was like, oh, she's on Love and Hip Hop, and then when I found out her name was Snoop, I was like, oh, that's somebody else. And also, when you hear her talk, she's got that strong Baltimore accent.
Yeah, I mean, on the show, she's exactly. I mean, her name's Snoop on the show too.
Oh.
She literally is just
the same person.
Plays herself. Yeah, literally. Nothing's different. So I mean.
Well, I guess that's it for our TV, movies, and Netflix segment.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
This week, what we wanted to talk about was, in light of like the inauguration and other things that recently happened, we wanted to talk about dealing with difficult people or clients, be their clients or just other people you have to deal with in life. I guess most of our stuff is going to be in reference to clients.
Well, I know some difficult people as well.
Yeah. So I guess it really depends on what type of difficult people you're dealing with. So I guess, what are some difficult people you've run into? Try not to name names.
Well,
there was
Kevin
Jason
over on
his Instagram name
892 Leaning Tree Way. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of difficult people I guess I've had to deal with. A lot of times it boils down to miscommunication. You've got the people that it's just a matter of miscommunication, and then you've got people that are just stubborn.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that are just dumb. I try not to deal with those.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the key, is to like figure out what type of person are you dealing with. Is this somebody that's just either just an idiot, or maybe they're uninformed?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or are you dealing with somebody that's just stubborn, even if you present them with things, they're not going to change their mind? Or are you dealing with somebody that you just don't speak the same language?
Yeah, I think those are probably the three main categories that I've ever run into in term from a business perspective. I mean, there's just other annoying people you have to deal with in life, but they probably all fall into those same categories. What? So I guess let's talk about approaches for each kind a little bit. For the communication issue, so I've had to deal with some clients that some examples of annoying client communication is like I have some clients that like to email, and so they'll send an email with a list of changes, and then they'll send another email with different changes or that contradicts the first email, and another email, and then you'll get like 47 emails from them with changes that may contradict each other and may like overlap and stuff like that. So then when I do read my emails, I'm like, what do I do? Like, how am I I have to spend like 30 minutes deciphering just their emails in order to determine what changes need to be made. And in that case, I've also had situations where I made changes that didn't need to be made or didn't make changes that did need to be made because of just, instead of consolidating their communication, it was just like email diarrhea type of situation. I know we talked about that before. Yeah. Also, I had customers in the past where they just like to talk on the phone, and because I'm dealing with other customers, or I don't have service right now, or I just don't want to talk to you, then phone is not an option, not always going to be an option for me. And so those type of customers, I've had situations where they get frustrated with me, or just like things will be held up because they couldn't find it within themselves to write a 2-sentence email that said, hey, can you update this website and change this, or can you email this person, or whatever. Like, simple requests become complicated because they didn't want to take the time to write a text message or send an email.
Yeah. How do you manage people like that? Like, how do you?
I don't know. So if you're a phone centric person, then what I try and do, like, if you just want to talk on the phone, then I tell you I'll schedule a time to talk to you, because often I'm busy during the day, and so I'm not always like on call, so I can't just answer the phone all the time. And sometimes I just don't want to answer the phone, so I'll schedule a time to talk to them. And that seems to work best, especially if I know that's how you want to communicate. Then I can plan ahead and work with that. But I'll also let them know, like, if this is something you want urgently, send me an email.
Yeah,
because you can't just be blowing up my phone, because I'm still not going to answer.
Yeah, and I mean, and there are some things. I mean, if you're somebody that I think if you find yourself in the position of a client or just somebody trying to communicate with somebody, you need to understand like how you're most effective at communicating. Because sometimes, I mean, just like on the internet with other things, I mean, there's a lot of subtlety of conversation lost in email or in text.
Yeah.
And people get offended and like just misunderstand what's going on because they don't understand like what, they're missing the context of things, or just something is lost in the, something's lost in the conversation. So, if you're somebody that, you're classically misunderstood, then you need to find the best way to communicate that with like somebody you're dealing with, or like somebody that you're hiring to do something, just to be sure. Because some people, I mean, I would rather talk to them on the phone because we can get to the point.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on what we're trying to communicate too, because like if we're just talking about like hypothetical ideas and stuff like that, or whatever, planning and stuff like deadlines, I don't mind doing that on the phone. But if you're sending me specifics, or like, hey, I want it to look like this website, or I need this color, then you got to send that in email.
Links.
Yeah. Like, okay, just, are you at a computer? Okay, look at this link with me while we're on the phone. No, email me the link. Yeah. Text me the link.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a lot of people I deal with, I mean, I am completely comfortable with just dealing with them over email.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it depends on on the project. Some things they're not that. It's not really necessary to do all that. Um, but if you're dealing with something where you're trying to develop a new concept, sometimes the conversation is needed. Um, like just this book that I'm illustrating for a lady. I mean, we need to talk on the phone to do that because she wants to explain, just different ideas or whatever, and go over ideas with me for what she wants. I mean, and that's possible to do in email, but sometimes that collaboration is easier to do quicker, just to have a conversation real quick. So
Yeah. So I
um,
think in dealing with someone who has either chooses the wrong mode of communication or has a preferred mode of communication that may not jive with your preferred mode of communication or your timing or your schedule, I think the best thing to do is probably to, if they prefer a phone call, call them. When you talk to them, say, look, going forward, if you want to reach me quickly, it's best to email me. If you need to send me
yeah,
changes, you need to email me. If you want to just discuss regular stuff, you could talk on the phone or whatever, something like that, so
yeah,
that you can kind of set some ground rules in terms of communication, so that there's not an issue. Because like another
yeah,
communication issue I've had is also where like a person will email me some changes, they'll call me and leave me a voicemail with some other stuff they want done, and they'll text me with some different stuff. And so I'm like, well, can we get all this in one place? Because I do check my voicemail occasionally. I do read my text messages. I do check my email. But if it's all scattered like that, then it's definitely, when I sit down to work, I might not have my phone by me, or I might not be looking at my text messages or whatever. So it's possible to get things lost. So it's like we got to be consistent.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and some people, I mean, because I've worked with some people that will send multiple emails and Skypes and everything, if it would, just to work on things. I'm just used to that from them, and it's like we have worked together for years, so we know how to
Hmm.
communicate, and so we talk when we need to, and we email when we need to, and or whatever. But you may have to take some steps at the beginning of the relationship if it's a new one to actually figure out what actually
Yeah.
works. You know, if be it like a client or that relationship, you may need to talk it out first before you just text each other.
Yeah.
So
All right. So we talked about communication issues. I believe that's probably a large portion of the problem, quote unquote, problem clients as I deal with are communication issues. But then stubborn clients. Um, I have some stubborn clients, but I feel like if your stubbornness is something I can predict, obviously the first time I won't know, but over a while I'll be able to figure out that you're stubborn and you like things your way. And then as long as I
yeah,
can predict it, then it's easy to deal with, or easier to deal with, because then I can make a choice. Like,
yeah,
is this stubbornness something I'm willing to deal with or not? Because if not, then no more work for you.
yeah. I mean, when I've dealt with that, it's like, okay, well, this is how this person is, so I'm gonna finish this project. Because usually what happens is they want something specific, or they have like all these changes because they want to have complete control of it. They want somebody that knows how to operate the program for
Yeah,
them.
they don't want a designer.
And yeah. And so, I mean, usually down the road, by the time we finish the project, I don't care about whatever I created anymore anyway, because it's not what me and my professional opinion think will work usually. And it's not something we were able to discuss and come to, a middle ground or whatever. So it's just something I made for them, and I don't care about it anymore. So usually after that, I just distance myself from the person, honestly.
Yeah, I have some people like that I work with, and honestly, those are the type of people I charge more. And
Yeah.
90% of the time, the work is never going to end up in my portfolio because, like you said, it's not really it's my work. Like, I put in the effort, I moved the mouse, but they were pushing for what they wanted design wise and color wise and all that type of stuff. And 90% of the time, it might be acceptable, but it's not. It's definitely not going to end up in my portfolio.
Yeah. I mean, because you're not, I don't know. they're coming for you for your professional opinion. I mean, and that's not like a cocky thing or like a stubbornness on our part or whatever. It's just,
Well, it's not that they want your opinion.
you shouldn't use Comic Sans. I mean, I don't know.
They don't
what
want.
do you want? I mean,
it seems like the ones I deal with, they don't want my opinion. They just want. I came up with this idea. It may be bad, but I need you to replicate it in Photoshop or in Illustrator or whatever, as a website. I don't necessarily want your opinion on what I did. Now, what I have done in some cases with those types of people is over time, like as you build rapport with them, I've been able to inject some of my opinion here and there and get them to listen. Yeah. But it doesn't happen immediately. They have to basically build a trust and say, okay, well, David knows what I want. After I know what they want, it's easy to, like, if I know you like a certain style of design, then every time you come to me, I can easily replicate that and spit it out fast and get it to you. And once I've done that several times, then it's easier for me. Once I've kind of proven myself, it's easier for me to inject some better design in there or some of my own opinions here and there.
Yeah. I mean, but that goes back to communication. Like you've built a rapport or whatever, and they have some trust in you. I mean, I understand not completely trusting somebody in the first place, but that's why you look at their resume. That's why you look at their portfolio and just see just see their work. But yeah, because I was going to say it sounds like a trust issue. Why they are so stubborn about it? It's like somebody with a control issues where they don't know how to do it themselves, but they have to be all the way in on it every time. And I don't know. I mean, it's almost like somebody micromanaging you, which is just not. It's like, I mean, I understand the intensity if it's a new person or whatever you're dealing with, but like after a while, like, dude, back off. Like, I mean,
well, this is
you don't need somebody to do that.
I was talking to my uncle one time, and he told me, if you deal with somebody, well, we weren't talking about this specifically, but we were talking about basically people that come back and try and micromanage the project and ask for a bunch of changes and have like really strong ideas about the design that they want implemented. And he was like, well, in that case, what I do is I charge them for two designers. I'm going to charge them for my work and I'm going to charge them for their work because they want to be on the design team too. So you had two designers on this project. You got to pay for both of them.
Hey, no,
yeah.
like
So when
idea.
I know if I worked with you before and I know you're like that, then unfortunately you're going to get charged more just for hassle because I know there's going to be a lot of back and forth. I mean, even if it's not a lot of back and forth, I just know I'm not going to be able to use this in my portfolio for the future. So I need to be paid. I need to get some kind of compensation for my time.
Well, and if you generally have an idea in mind how long a certain project's going to take you, but if you know this person, it's definitely going to take you longer than that, then you got to charge them more. Even if it's it's not more complicated than all the other projects you've done like that. It's just that they're going to change a bunch of stuff and it's going to take longer, so they're going to get charged for it. You got to let them know that. I mean, as long as they don't. I mean, I'm willing to deal with somebody like that as long as I know they're going to pay.
Oh, if you're like that and you don't pay, that's a problem.
Yeah, you gotta pick a struggle.
Well, that again, if I know you're like that, I need a deposit up front. If you're easy to deal with, good on the money, and all that stuff, then I still need a deposit up front, but I might not ask for it all the time. Because there's some people that, like, in the midst of a project, things change, and I need to get money, and I won't necessarily ask for a deposit or ask for additional money right then because I know they're good for it. I don't have to worry about it. Other people, just because of the hassle, I'm like, well, I'm going to be hassled about this for the next couple hours, so let me get some money now so I can stop thinking about it for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an earned privilege to, I mean, that's just something you have to build up over time. And if you are somebody like that, make sure you don't take advantage of that. If you have a relationship with somebody, don't take advantage of it because I don't know. That's not what a decent person does. So
True. All right, so I guess the last one we wanted to talk about was ignorant people.
And there's more than one type of that. There's people who
what did you mean by that?
Can't get right. And then there's the people that just, well, they just don't understand. They don't understand the scope of the project that they're asking. They don't know what they're asking for, basically. Um, or they come to you as like, oh, I want to make this and this, and I want to, to do this or whatever, and it's like, no, that doesn't work. That's not going to work. It's not going to happen. You don't need a flash intro on your website. You don't need this or whatever. Just but that's with somebody. I mean, if they're willing to learn, then that's fine. Just hopefully they're not ignorant and stubborn. Because there's people that I've dealt with that they come and they have an idea and they're like, but I don't know about this. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? Is it possible? And that's what you ideally want. Then you're in a position where you can educate somebody, you can walk into it, and I mean, you've got like a sale there. You got a new client, and you're earning their trust by educating them on, what to do. They're teaching them some best practices and stuff like that. But then you got people that just want it their way, even if it's a bad idea. I mean, they're stubborn and it's not a good idea. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, like in terms of ignorance, I've definitely dealt with customers that had, I guess you could say, grandiose and unrealistic expectations of what their budget could do, and also like what the internet could do. And I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of anything good right now.
Well, a simple one is, I mean, I've dealt with it a lot. A lot of people know that now, but it's I'll just put my website up, and why aren't people coming to my website? I have a website. Why is nobody coming to it?
I don't get annoyed with that type of situation because it's like, well, okay, you just don't know how the internet works. I can tell you that. I can send you a YouTube video or something, but like I've had people that want a site that just does, like, so when Obama was elected, I worked with
not my president.
I got contacted with by a bunch of people wanting to there was like a lot of inauguration parties and stuff like that because I live near DC, so people wanted to basically collect money for inauguration parties and stuff like that, and post inauguration events, stuff like that. So one person contacted me about that, and they wanted to be able to accept credit cards on their site, not PayPal, nothing like that. And they contacted me like 2 days before they needed it done. They didn't know anything about SSLs or Authorize.net or anything that you need to do to actually process credit cards on a website. And then they got mad at me because I'm like, no, that's not possible. You could do PayPal. That's about it. At this late day and time, because they wanted that stuff set up and they needed me to actually build the site. And it's like, well, you're being unrealistic and you don't realize the level of effort and the amount of things that have to be done to make this work. Because this wasn't like last year. Like currently it's a little easier. You could do stuff more quickly, but back then it was a little more difficult, depending on what tool you were using and that type of stuff. Because I think that site I was building in Joomla, just to show how long ago that was. I mean, Joomla is still around, I think, but I don't use it anymore. But like that type of ignorance, and then getting mad at me because I point out like how it's not going to work. That's what bothers me. If you just don't know how things work, how the internet works, how to get hits on your site, how to organize your content or whatever, I've had to answer a lot of those questions like 57 million times already. So I know exactly what to say. I can have a quick conversation with you and guide you into the right stuff to do. But if you're ignorant and like adamantly ignorant and not willing to listen, then that's where it's like, all right, I can't deal with you.
Yeah, I mean, you get up in the morning and Google how to put your pants on like everybody else does. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but I mean, there's some. They should have planned that out earlier.
Yeah, so that's I guess that's a different type of annoying customers, like the one with unrealistic expectations. And I think that's probably a better way of describing the ignorance, because I've been approached by tons of people that are ignorant. But if you're like, look, I don't know what I'm doing, I came to you because you're an expert, then I'm like, perfect, we can work. As long as you brought some money with you, we're good to go. Because I can school you, or I always tell people this. I can teach you how to do it. like updating your website or whatever, or you can pay me to do it. One or the other. It's up to you, because I'm not trying to be like a knowledge hoarder.
Either way, I'm on charge.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll charge you either way, but I'm not trying to be a knowledge hoarder, so I'll teach you. I'm not going to teach you how to develop websites. I'm not going to teach you how to do graphic design. But if you want to maintain your site or update your Twitter or whatever, I'll teach you how to do it, or you could pay me to do it.
Yeah, you can give them the tools and
teach a man to fish.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough free things out there. You can point them in the right direction. Yeah, without Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's fine. I mean, because honestly, like the other kind of just like dumb people in general, I honestly haven't dealt with a lot of people like that. Yeah. There are people that I knew were a certain way, and I just did not want to do business with them, just because I knew how they were. Or I just didn't like them for some other reason, and they approached me about something. I'm just like, nah, I didn't. Basically, new phone, who this?
Yeah, if you're like aggressively dumb, then I probably like. Unfortunately, a lot of the people I deal with, I don't know them personally. Like working with them is when I get to know them. I don't. Some people I get a lot of referrals from other people, so I don't know. And so a lot of times I ask questions or I ask around in my circle to find out if people know. Like, hey, you heard of Timothy? Like, is he crazy? Does he pay? Is he legit? And that's usually how I figure out what I want to do. But if I can't find anybody in my circle that knows anything about you, then it's just taking a risk, and it's all about CYA at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what I'm thinking about is people that I know. I know them.
If I know you,
and because I know them, I don't like them.
If I actually know you and you approach me about something, then you might get the curve. You definitely get curved if I don't want to work with you. Unless you come with that bag, then I might consider it. Like, that's unfortunately, maybe I'm shallow, but that's how you can compensate for just being a terrible person. I might work with you if you have the money. But there's some people, there's honestly a couple of people out there that had they didn't do right on the money, and now if they come back to me, I'm like, sorry, no, I don't even do websites anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's somebody I don't know.
Name.
I mean, I just didn't
Give
like the way they approached me with the Susan. No. Actually, I don't remember their name, honestly, but I didn't even save their number in my phone. Honestly, I just didn't like the way they conducted business. I mean, they wanted a project, and then they were kind of annoying about it, and then they wanted me to rush the project and rush and finish it. And they wanted all these changes, and then they asked for a discount.
Oh, that's
after being late on payment. It's like, no, you can't do all of that.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I have a repeat person that has done that. Asked for 57,000 changes, not pay for 6 months, then ask for a discount, and it's like, sorry, I'm definitely not giving you a discount, and you're annoying. Sorry,
no, yeah, okay. you gotta pick a struggle. Either be late or ask for a discount. Don't ask for oh, well, no, can I get a buddy discount? No. You didn't. You're late with paying already. You can't be late and ask for a discount.
Yeah, if you paid me early up front, or were willing to, then I'd consider. But I honestly don't do the discounts thing. This isn't Safeway. This isn't CVS. You don't get. There's no extra care bucks you can use here.
No government handouts.
Exactly. This is exactly why we're building this wall for you people with your hands out on welfare.
No, I mean, there's people that I know that I may give a lower rate or whatever, but I mean, I don't know, just on the strength of it, maybe.
Yeah, but the people I give discounts to, they never asked for it. I just give them a discount.
Yeah.
Or if you're just honest up front and look, I ain't got that much money, then I'll say, I'll see what we can work out, and I'll give you a good rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I want to.
Just be straight with me. Yeah. I mean, I'm flexible, but just be honest. Don't wait to the end of it and then be like, that doesn't work You can't do that when you're eating out at a restaurant. You can't do that when you're buying. I mean, you can't. The real world doesn't work like that. In other places, you're gonna pay up.
So what I do with, so I have several people like that, unfortunately, that have crossed my path, and so for people like that, there's a time when I have to make a choice, like, does this customer get fired? So I have fired some customers. I don't know if I've always let them know that they've been fired, but basically,
new phone from Dish.
Yeah, basically, I'll just stop answering calls or emails or whatever. Or, well, I don't always do that. Or I'll just be like, sorry, I'm busy. I can't help you with this project right now. But if I do continue to deal with you for whatever reason, like sometimes work is slow, it's a Friday, you're bored, you ain't got nothing else to do, you ain't got no job. So I'll take on work from them again. But if you've done that to me in the past in terms of just being annoying or asking for ridiculous discounts after the fact, or just any of that type of stuff, then you may have to pay for the whole thing up front. And if not, you're going to pay 50% up front, and my rate's going to be higher. And like, I'm not going to, it's going to be a bunch of ground rules to hopefully protect myself from you.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to do any of that. That's the reality. Yeah. They're gonna find somebody else that they can.
Well, no. I've like, so there's at least two people I can think of that are annoying like that, but I think in the back of their mind they realize they're annoying, and they also realize I do really good work. And so when they come back and the rates are higher and there's a lot of stipulations up front, they generally, at least some of them, will accept it because they're like, okay, well, I really need this work done, and they know they can't get it anywhere else. Like in the time, like with the quality and the time frame and the cost and all that type of stuff, it's not possible to get anyone else to do it. So it's like, oh, I'll suck it up and try and not be annoying this time. But I think that's just like, women in relationships, and I guess guys in relationships too. If you've been hurt before, you kind of protect yourself. So that's what I do, especially if it's the same person. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, is Ray is coming back to beat me again? Okay, well, this time I'm going to take some karate classes or whatever.
Or stop dating Ray.
Well, yeah, so that's the other thing I should probably do. I'm like a battered spouse who keeps going back. I don't do it much, but like, honestly, there are times when, business is slow and I don't really have anything else to do. And if you hit me up at that time, I'm vulnerable.
You need to turn on some Mary J. Blige or some K. Michelle or some what's that other one's name? I forgot her name.
I don't listen to any else.
Whatever case, one of those like
scorned lovers. I know what you mean.
Yeah, what are those people? What is her name? I can't remember her name. She's from California.
I'm sure you'll remember it at some point.
Yeah, I had it in my head a while ago. What is her name? I don't know. Whatever the case, one of those. You need to turn that on and just.
You talking about the one that was beat up by Dr. Dre, Michelle? I don't know what type of music she does.
No, I don't know. I don't know what she makes. No, it was more recent than that.
From California?
I forgot her name. Yeah.
And this is very important to the podcast, so if you know, leave a comment or something.
Yeah, and the only way I can think to describe her isn't really
Lady of Rage.
No, I don't remember her name. She ain't really out here doing.
Oh, you're talking about
nowadays,
the one?
Whatever.
She had a reality show with her, like her mom was on it.
Yeah,
and, yeah, she was like crackhead or something. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I can only remember one thing about her, and I was like, well, that's not really appropriate. But
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember her name.
Like the one with the. No, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I forgot her name. But yeah, turn that on. That's the one we're getting to, and just tell them.
I'm not putting up with this anymore. I've had enough of your mess.
Yeah. Or turn on some when they call you, turn on some Gangsta Boo. Like, where them dollars at? Where them dollars?
I feel like so. I feel like when you do go back to those people that have treated you wrong from a business perspective, and you just allow them to continue to do it just for money, you're cheapening yourself. and you shouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of people out there that will pay
Yeah,
you on time. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times these people are your friends or people in your peer group or people in your race, but not
yeah,
always though, because there's somebody I can think of right now that owes me money that is not one of my people, but my people being people that pay on time. But
yeah.
yeah,
I've lost some. I've never. I don't want to say I've lost some friends, but I've
you
lost
lost
respect
respect
for
for them
some
though.
friends. Some a level of respect for some friends as a result of this type of stuff. And so yeah, friends and business don't always mix. And so I've
Yeah,
told people before, like, if you're kind of in my circle, I know you or grew up together, went to school together, I probably don't want to do business with you unless like we're cool.
but that contradicts a Instagram post you made a while back about
Yeah,
supporting your circle.
I want to support people I know, but I feel like I need to get to
Maybe,
so some people I can be friends with you, but I can't be do business with you because I see how you are in terms of business. Like there's people I'm cool with. We
yeah,
can joke around, we can hang out, we can watch a basketball game or whatever, but we can't do business together.
yeah. That
Yeah.
may not be your
Yeah.
relationship. They may not be for that. Yeah, I mean, and if it's a real friend, then they will respect. Like, okay, well, I need to
Yeah.
pay this
Yeah.
person or whatever. Because I have real friends like that. It's like they send me work, I do work, and they pay me like immediately, like day of, kind of stuff like that. And I love that. That's amazing when that happens. But there's other people where it
Yeah.
isn't like that. I mean, honestly, those
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah. You
close
can
friends.
I don't know. I have some close
I don't know if
friends
it's
that just are
because of.
not like 100 with the business. That's okay because I'm not going to do business with them.
Yeah, you got to teach them
Because business,
sometimes.
friends and
But I
business
mean,
are two
I don't
separate
know.
things for me.
It's great when you can do business with your circle, but
Yeah.
sometimes you can't. But maybe you need a new circle.
Yeah. You just need to diversify.
Maybe that's not. You can. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can have
Yeah.
more than
Because I
one
have
circle.
circles of friends and then I have circles that are business people. And the business people are not all my friends. Or not the, they're not the same people. It's different people, which is okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sometimes it can be the same people, but I mean, yeah. I mean, usually the people that yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes it can be be the same people, but not always. I mean, I don't consider myself having as somebody that has a lot of close friends or whatever. And the people I do consider close friends, I know they pay me right up,
Yeah.
straight
Well,
up.
I think that's the important part is like, if I asked you to do some work for me or you did some work, like I asked one of my other friends to do work for me, um, I value that friendship enough that I will pay them because I know money could potentially, well, I know it
Ain't
could
a thing.
potentially affect the friendship. So if you don't value my friendship, you're not going to pay me and we're not going to be friends anymore.
So, in contradiction to what JD and Jay Z said, money is a thing.
It matters. Well, and it doesn't even have to be money because I've had people who made other like commitments, non-monetary stuff. They said I'll help you out with this or whatever, and still didn't come through. So money is just the conduit for this particular conversation, but the person who doesn't come through doesn't come through.
I mean, most of the time, I mean, usually what it boils down, it's not necessarily just the money; it's the trust issue.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
when
trust
you
and
lose
respect.
trust and
If you
lose
respect
for
me,
somebody, yeah,
you'll pay me.
yeah,
If you don't, you're gonna try and ask for a discount or some other crap. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's ways to do that without disrespecting somebody.
Yeah.
You let them know up front that you ain't got it.
Or hey, things have changed since you started. Like I feel like if I'm working on something for you and then you suddenly lose your job, let me know as soon as that happens. So
Yeah.
that I can stop or I can adjust.
Yeah, or you let
accordingly.
me know. I was like, okay, well, I can give you this now for now. I mean, okay, cool. I mean, I can live with that if I know, just let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It goes back to the communication thing we were talking about earlier.
yeah. I mean, this all is all advice you can use in any kind of relationship. Communicate, have respect for other people and what they got going on in their life or whatever. Yeah, I mean, try to have a perspective. Like, put yourself in their shoes. But just try to be a decent person. I mean, I know a lot of crazy stuff is happening nowadays, but you gotta you gotta be the change you want to see in the world.
Yep.
When everybody is a dollar, you be the change. That doesn't I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I guess I think the major point in terms of dealing with difficult clients and people is communication. Because I think if you, this applies to other relationships as well, but like as long as you upfront communicate what you want and what you're expecting from the business relationship or from the transaction, then you've at least set the groundwork. And if the person doesn't do what they're supposed to do, then they were warned.
Yeah, it's good African acronym.
So besides communicating your expectations for your relationships with your clients and stuff like that, I feel like that's the main thing. Other than that,
I mean, that's the basis of any good relationship is communicate.
Yeah. I think also it's important to, like, when they do stuff that's inappropriate or whatever, that you communicate that as well in a respectful manner, obviously, but like let them know, because I think that's something that I've noticed.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it does sound crazy, but I think that is kind of a reality, is that people on some level will push your boundaries just to see when you'll tell them to stop.
People want to know what they can get away with.
Yeah, that's an appropriate way of saying it.
Yeah.
So people want to know what they're going to get away with. So when they can't get away with, you got to let them know, hey, no, you can't get away with that. No, that's not appropriate.
Yeah, you have to, let people know that you need to show that you have respect for yourself, and that they need to respect that.
Yeah. And I think if you do that, you should be good for the most part. And then, of course, there's got to be consequences. Like, if you're just a terrible person, you're going to get cut off, and you're not going to. I'm not going to pay. You're not going to get your work. Yeah,
and I think, like, to tie in the first point is, like, with communication, you need to set the tone for that. If it's a new relationship or a new client or whatever, whatever the case, you need to set the tone for that.
Yeah.
If you want to be respected, you need to lead with that. I mean, sometimes that can be difficult when you're dealing with somebody that you've known for a long time, and you've already,
they already have expectations.
Yeah, or they've taken advantage of you in the past, and they think they can still get away with it. That can be a little more difficult. You have to reassert your self-respect or whatever in some kind of way. But if this is a new relationship, then start it off strong. Like, I mean, not trying to dominate somebody or nothing like that, but just let them show them respect so that they understand the respect that you want in return.
Yeah, and I think that's one area where, well, in relation to that, where I haven't done what I needed to do, is like, there has to be consequences. Just like with little kids, you tell them not to do something 57 times, and eventually there has to be some punishment. You can't just be like, you better stop, because they'll realize that there's nothing behind that. So I think also when dealing with clients, there has to be some repercussions for the actions. So, like, if they're not communicating in the way that you ask them, like, look, if you send me changes through text message, it's going to take longer. If you send me text changes in a voicemail, I might not get to them as fast as I will through email. So if they're doing that, then sometimes I will, just because I'm like, well, I just want to get this done, so I'm just going to still do things as quickly as possible and not stick to my guns in terms of what I said I needed in terms of communication. Like, if I told you need to send me changes via email, I shouldn't accept anything you sent me through a text.
Yeah.
But I don't always do that. And therefore, it kind of weakens the whole respect thing, because you're like, oh, I can get away with that. Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to tell people. It's like, hey, can you send me that in an email? Like, I mean, just or even like just the way your preferred manner means of communication. Like sometimes it may just feel like, all right, well, I don't. I mean, even if you have my number, I mean, maybe I don't want you calling me.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if they're not respectful of your time or something like that, and they'll like text and call you at any time of the day.
Yeah, I've had issues with people just calling all kinds of late hours of the night, and then I don't call people like after 9 or so, unless it's like an urgent thing where I know we're both up working on something. Then if it's a deadline issue, then I might contact you, but I'm going to text you or email you 57 times before I do that. But yeah, I've had people that just don't respect that, and at that point I just stop replying. Like, I have business hours, even though like I'm freelancing or whatever. I still have business hours where there's a time when you can't reach me, and it's for a reason. And it's not that I'm not by my phone, it's just you can't reach me right now.
Yeah. What's the third point? Did we have a third point?
So
we can complete the acronym.
Be the change.
The African.
What was the acronym? I don't know.
I don't know. What was the first point? Communicate. The second one is
set boundaries and stick to them.
Respect. Put some respect on your business relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't treat the same. Don't put the same amount of effort or same weight on business relationships that they do on their own personal relationships or whatever. Or vice versa.
Yeah. Well, because there's no money involved. So they feel like they can manipulate their way out of whatever the situation. Even though, I mean, there could be money involved and there are consequences, probably more immediate. But they're not as easy to quantify. That's the word for this week.
Quantify. Well, I think that's the other thing about it is like, in some of these situations where I've dealt with annoying people and stuff like that, like we talked about, I didn't do any of the stuff we've talked about. I didn't set ground rules. I didn't ask for money up front. I didn't establish like this is how I want to be communicated with. I didn't have any consequences for them not doing things the way I asked them to do it. So the relationship went off the rails early, and I was just like, well, I need this money. I'm just gonna keep doing it.
You sound like a prostitute.
Yes, right I do. So,
on that note,
I just kept doing it because I needed the money. I had to get my fix.
Hey,
but it sounds terrible, but that's exactly how it went. Yeah. And I think that's the problem. I didn't have enough respect on my name personally, and so I was like, well, I'll accept this crappy behavior from this person because I want their money. And then in the end, they were asking me for a discount, and that's when I started getting pissed, because it's like, what? I did all this for this money, and now you don't want to give me the money.
Yeah, and then you're bitter, and then or you didn't charge them. Yeah, I hate that, and that's happened to me so many times. You've done all this work, and you're bitter because you feel like you didn't charge me enough, but then it's like awkward because it's like, well, I don't know, but I think that I don't know. Yeah, just work on communication and show respect and get respect. Like, demand it from other people.
I think asking for money, getting a deposit up front and all that type of stuff helps set the tone.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then I don't know. The person can definitely feel like, I'm getting all this for free. This is awesome. And then when you finally finish the project and you ask them for money, they're like, what? It's just like that. I think it's a Seinfeld. I'm pretty sure it's Seinfeld, but he's talking about like, when you go to a restaurant and it's time to order, money is no object. You're like, oh, give me this and give me that and whatever, all this other stuff. You're asking for everything, but then when it's time to pay, it's been 30, 40 minutes later and it's time to pay, and you're like, what? Who asked for this? What was I thinking? And that's kind of the way it is with, it's just directly applicable because it helps if you pay a little bit up front. It helps you keep in mind.
Yeah, no, it sets the tone, and it can help with like a timeline and all. I mean, I think it's good for the clients and for the person doing the work. So it's good all around.
All right, so we don't really have an acronym, but that's okay.
It's CR.
I don't know what the rest of it is. So if you can make all our ramblings into an acronym, feel free to share it with us on Twitter at Alien Muffin or on Instagram at Alien Muffin.
Make an acronym out of the word of the week.
Quantify.
But yeah, Alien Muffin everywhere. I think that's it.
Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you learned something from what we talked about. If you didn't learn anything, that's fine, because I feel like I learned something, and I'm going to apply what I learned to my life and stuff.
Same for me. Tomorrow is New Year, New Me.
You can't keep saying that. Like, it's January 22.
Well, it's my birthday tomorrow, so I can say that.
Okay, this is your last chance to say it. Happy birthday. What do you want for your birthday?